Hello and welcome everyone to Breakthrough 2022. It is great to be here with you for this live event. So we've got it streaming into our Facebook group. So hello to everyone if you're watching this in the Way Out community. And we've also got it streaming onto my Facebook page. Hey Janice, great to see you. So guys, if you're watching this in the group, hello, how are you? Great to have you. If you're watching this on the page, you can share it out, you can pop it up, share it out into your groups, into your teams. Do all those sorts of things. It's great to be here training with you. Hey, John, how you doing? So, look, everyone's popping up. Hey, Christian. Hey, everyone. Now, look, just before we get into the event, I do want to get to know you all. I do want to see who's on the event, who's watching the live stream. So I'd love to just ask a couple of questions. Hey, Annie Lee and I were messaging back at about 4 a.m. this morning, my time. So guys, I'd love to know where you're calling in from and what time is it for you at the moment, because we are going around the world. It's 6 a.m. Sunday morning for me, which did mean a sort of 4 a.m. start to get the dog run and all those sorts of things going. But so Chris is phoning in from Belgium, or listening in, I should say, and Claudia is as well from Belgium. So guys, let us know where you're calling in from. Throughout the event, we're going to be giving away lots of prizes. We've got courses, books, training, mentoring calls, VIP group membership. So for those who are commenting, for those who are interacting, for those who are sharing and getting involved, I'm going to be spinning this little wheel as we go throughout the event and giving you lots of prizes. So if you're commenting, you've got a great chance of being selected. If you share it out as well, if you go to the page, so if you're watching in the group and you want to share this out to your team and your team aren't in the group, you would have just seen I've just pinned a post onto the Facebook page, onto the group, I should say, where I'm streaming from the page. So you can go to that stream and share it out. So you can't share from inside the group, obviously, but you can go over to the page and share it out. So if you do share it, let me know, because then I can put you in the draw for winning a prize as well. So I'll thank you, Claudia. Now, before we get into the event, as I said, I'd love to get to know you. So in the comments section, if you have never heard me speak before, you don't know who I am, you just got added to the group or someone's tagged you or something, pop a 1. If you've never heard me speak, in any kind of training, podcast, YouTube video, live, anything like that, pop a 1. If you've seen me before, pop a 2, so we can see how many people are new and how many people are established. Who have we got here? We've got Stan. We got Stan. So Stan's never heard me speak. So he's listening in from Maryland in the USA on Saturday afternoon. Hope you're having a great day, Stan. Chris, John, Sigrun, Annie Lee, great to have you on. Now, second question. So if you have been doing business, if you've been in this network marketing online business space for under 12 months, pop a 3. If you've been doing this for more than 12 months, pop a 4, and we can see if we've got a fairly new crowd or we've got an established crowd, people who've been doing this for a little while. Love to get to know what kind of audience we're working with, obviously, because the better I know the audience, the better we can sort of provide the information for you guys as well, obviously, just tailor the information. So we've got mainly established people, mainly people who've been doing this for at least 1 year, which is really, really cool. All right. Now, second last question. Would you rather be at the beach or in the mountains? Now, so pop a 5 if you'd rather live on the beach, pop a 6 if you'd rather live in the mountains, and pop a 7 if you just can't decide. Because that's us. I mean, we're very, very grateful where we live. We would live beach or mountains. We can't really decide. So we get to live in the mountains, but we can see the beach. So we kind of pop a 7 because I can't actually decide. I do love the beach, especially, again, we live on the Sunshine Coast in Australia. So mainly 6s, a lot of 5s, 6s, beaches, mountain. Okay, now let's start talking about financial freedom, because I want to jump straight into that. So final question before we get going, and then we are going to get into the training and show you how to create freedom in your life. So would you rather, now pop an 8, if you would rather $1 million, but you cannot leave your house for a year, and I mean, like we've all been doing to an extent, but you get $1 million, but you can't leave your house for a year, or 9, you get first class travel around the world for a whole year. and you can go anywhere, anytime, and you get to get first class flights anywhere. That's a 9. So would you rather $1 million cash, but you can't leave your house for a year? Or would you rather flights anywhere in the world, the most beautiful 5-star first class holiday? So 9, 8s, 8s, 9s, but 9s. Again, bit of a mix, predominantly 9s. Excellent, awesome. Oh, so Chris 8, Stan, yep, 9, 9, 8. Bit of a mix. Oh, hey Jeanette, how you doing? All right, so let's get into it. So I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you want to create more freedom in your life. If you're on this live stream or if you're watching on the replay, you want to create more freedom in your life. So let's start going down this path, hey? Now let's talk about financial freedom right off the bat, elephant in the room, because I'm going to tell you more about my story as we go out through the event. But I think there's one of the biggest challenges that we have in this industry is that we often don't actually really know what we want. We talk to people and I say to them, what does freedom mean to you? And obviously freedom is a very subjective word. It's a very sexy word. It's a great word to pop in your Facebook post, to pop up in your stories, to talk about from stage, either the real stage or the virtual stage. But freedom can mean different things to different people. And so when we talk about helping people create freedom, the very first question is, well, what does freedom actually mean? Freedom is this destination over here. We are here and we want to get to freedom. But I'd love to know, what does freedom actually mean for you? Because freedom could be just never having to work weekends again anymore. You know, freedom could be never ever having to work ever again in the history of the world, and my children and my grandchildren never have to work. Freedom could be living in a van and just going off grid and living completely off grid, away from the crazy world at the moment. Freedom could mean something as simple as, you know what, my pants fit. And I'm going to tell more about my story, as I said, but I joined this industry because my pants didn't fit. Like, that was all the freedom that I wanted 10 years ago, was like, you know what, these pants are tight and it hurts to breathe. And I was getting married and I needed freedom from pants that don't fit. Financial geographical freedom. I love that. I can't actually see your name. Sorry, you're just coming up as a Facebook user. But whoever said that, geographical freedom, I love that, because that was a big thing for me. I love to work. I love to keep my brain busy. I love to always be doing things, but I wanted to do it anywhere in the world. You know, no matter where I was in the world, that to me was an amount of freedom, this geographical freedom to go out and do anything else. So I'd love to hear what everyone else is thinking from a freedom point of view. What does freedom mean to you? Because we need to know the destination before we can actually start the journey. You know, if we're going to talk about how do we create more freedom in our life, the very first step is knowing, well, what does freedom mean to us? Christian, a life I don't need a vacation from. Yeah, my life is better than your holidays. Like, that kind of mindset. Like, people, you know, and hey, imagine if people spent so much time planning their life as they spent planning their holidays. I mean, so often people plan their holidays incredibly, but they won't sit down and like actually write goals. So choice is a beautiful word. Choice, freedom is about choice, choosing what to do each day. Like, and if you get to choose to be with your family, or you get to choose to be with friends, you choose to work or you choose not to work. You have the choice, and certainly freedom allows you more choice. Again, I would love to know who said geographical freedom. I'd love you to pop your name up in the thread, because you're gonna be the first person we draw for the first prize on the little spinny wheel here. It just comes up as Facebook user, unfortunately, but let me know so I can spin the wheel for you in a sec. But let's talk about this freedom. Yeah, John, time, money, fewer restrictions. We would all love fewer restrictions in the world at the moment. Sam, making decisions, it's a choice, right? It comes back to choice. So, oh, that was you, Claudio. Excellent. So let's talk about this destination. And over the next probably 90 to 120 minutes, I want to show you how to get to here. Now, I want to start with a little bit of my story, because going back 10 years, even 15, 20, it's always had this goal of freedom. I wanted to be geographically independent, as I said, in my life. I wanted to just be able to travel anywhere in the world and be able to create an income. And to me, that's what freedom meant at the time. How do you work anywhere in the world? You can travel, you could be on the ski fields, you could be on a beach, you could be in the Maldives, and you still have the ability to create an income. That for me was huge. Now at the time I was single, I was in my mid 20s, and no like family or anything like I have now. So that was freedom. And it's still a big part of us, is just being able to live anywhere in the world that we want. But this goal was freedom. Now I was here, I was working professionally. Like I said, I was 24, 25 years old. This is 15 years ago. I was a health professional. I had a good 6-figure income. But I don't know if this sounds familiar to anyone else, but this leap to freedom just seemed so big. And I'd sit there and I'd come home from work. And as I said, I was living with a couple of mates. So our costs were down. I was driving a very kind of basic car. So my costs were very down. And I was earning a 6-figure income. So my income was good. But at the end of each week, there still only seemed to be a few $100s left over. And it's like, I'm 25, I'm single. I kind of live very basically. I live in a share house. I don't have a fancy car. How can I get over here to freedom? And it seemed like such an enormous leap. And from there, I figured out, I started reading all these books, and I started looking at, currency trading, property investing, online stuff, like offline, everything. And I started doing the numbers, and I figured out there's only really 2 ways that I can do this. Either I do some crazy risky things. So I got into the currency markets, and I was trying to how do I create freedom? Well, I've got $5,000 spare. I've got to turn $5,000 into financial freedom by taking huge risks. Now, I do not recommend that. That is a terrible financial decision. Okay. Or I have to be incredibly patient. I don't know if this is sounding familiar to anyone else, because I started looking at property, and everyone was like, it's all about property, get into the property game. But even earning a good income with low expenses, it's like, well, hang on, I've got to be 45, 50, 55 before these houses really start to kind of take over and I get financial freedom, but at 55, and I'm 25, and I wanted to be financially free at 33. That was my goal. How do I get financially free at 33? And it was like, you know what? I can't do risky stuff because that's unreliable, that's unsustainable. And I don't know if I'm that patient. So I had this just frustration, this endless frustration, a good 5 years or so of frustration, because everything I was doing wasn't working. And I'm trying to create more freedom, but I couldn't get there. And then I found this industry. Then I found this network marketing industry. And I'm going to talk a lot more about this as we go through. And I love this industry. It's completely changed our lives and everything about, how we live and all that kind of stuff. But the financially free at 56, 55 now. Let's go. But the thing with this industry is sometimes we sell freedom and we sell this leap, but it's actually overwhelming for people. Now, obviously, we get excited by the word freedom. We get excited about words like residual income. I'm going to talk about all that kind of stuff. But really, what we need to do is provide a stepping stone for people. Because when you're looking at a big, massive goal, it can be just so overwhelming. That goal is so big that it actually overwhelms you. What if we actually show people, we have the best stepping stone on the way to financial freedom? Because we have a business model where you can create 2 things. You can create cash flow and leverage very quickly and very simply. Now, it is not easy, but very quickly you can create cash flow and leverage, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we can use this middleman, this stepping stone, to create more freedom. And if we can help people do that, if we can help people understand that and see that this business model we have is the best kept secret on the pathway to financial freedom. because it allows us cash flow and leverage. And those two things, I'm going to talk about them in a lot more detail, especially towards the end of the talk when we really get into the financial mindset sort of thing. These two things are incredible, and you cannot get them anywhere else the way we can create them. The way we can create cash flow and leverage is incredible. And that's what I want to show you today. So let me know if this makes sense so far. Let me know if you're starting to just see that, you know what, actually, maybe it's not about taking a massive leap. Maybe it's about actually creating multiple streams of income and creating more cash flow into my life, so then I can use that to turn into financial freedom. So someone's children are having a fight when you're trying to concentrate. I understand. So let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if you can start to just see that clearer picture. Because once that light bulb went off in my head and it was like, you know what? I don't have to take this massive leap and take massive risks or just be incredibly patient. I can do it with a stepping stone and I can get there. Now, I'm going to show you how to do that. As I said, before we flip over and actually talk about launching our business, I want to spin this wheel. So Claudio, you had that fantastic financial freedom, geographically independent goal, very, very similar to mine. So we've got our little spinny wheel here. We've got books, we've got leadership boot camps, we've got attraction marketing programs, mentoring call, our VIP group. Claudio, you have won our attraction marketing program. So mate, send me an email, andrew@andrewlogan.net after this, and I'm going to send you the details on how you can get our attraction marketing program. So thank you, mate. Thank you for all your support. Claudio's always supporting everything I do. So mate, I'm glad I can give back to you. Now, let's talk about building our business, okay? So we want to actually launch our business. So when we talk about financial freedom, obviously it's a two-part process. We need to make money, we need to launch our business, and then we need to turn that business into financial freedom. And I'm going to show you how to do both of those things today. So the first thing we need to do when we launch our business is we need to actually do a little bit of preparation. We come into this business, we're excited, we're like super pumped up. We got all this, energy and excitement and like, our head's about to explode and all this potential, right? And sometimes we can go out there and verbally vomit. I don't know if you've ever done that. Have you ever been in a situation where maybe you got a little bit too excited and you kind of spewed all over someone and they put up an objection, or they kind of put up some fear, or they maybe said some nasty things back to you? And maybe they said, you know what, people lose friends in this industry. And unfortunately, you can lose friends if you do things like that. Now they say, ignorance on fire, like, I'd rather ignorance on fire than knowledge on ice. But to be honest, I'd rather neither. I'd rather like educated people with excitement, because ignorance on fire, yes, you'll make some sales, but you can also lose a lot of friends. And we don't want to do that. So what we want to do first is prepare a couple of things. And this is how we're going to launch our business. So step one in financial freedom is actually creating active income, going out and enrolling people and bringing them into our business. So the first thing we need to do with that is we need to have an offer. Now, if you've seen any of my videos, I slam this all the time. It is all about we've got to create an offer. And number two, we're going to create our story. Now, I'm going to go through them today, but I am just going to go through them fairly quickly because I've done so much training in the past on these. If you're in the early days and you really need to work this, I'll show you right now. Like perfect time to show you right now. Let me just share on my screen. Wrong button. I have just created, I'm really, really excited about this because I've just created this brand new blueprint. So it's your business blueprint, and this is going to take you through these 4 stages: the active, leverage, residual, passive, all the things we're going to talk about today. But this is going to take you through how to launch your business, how to create your offer, how to write your story, how to write your list, how to go out, do all these things, duplication. Like, I've just written this up, and this is totally free. So you can have this for totally free. All you need to do, I'll pop the thing up here, is if you just go to andrewlogan.net/blueprint, you can download this for free. So I'm not going to spend a great amount of time talking about all the things we need to do to like actually create the offer and create the story, because I want to get into some of the juicier stuff at the back, but we do need to just cover it very quickly. So yes, you will get, like anyone, if you just go to andrewlogan.net, it's right there at my website. It's right there on the main screen. You cannot miss it. It's like download my free blueprint. So you can download that, and that's going to go into more details. And again, there's also some links to some YouTube videos, again, where I go into even more depth. So jump on, download that, take all this information, but we're going to go through it quickly now so that you have it here as well. And you come back to this resource all the time. Claudia has it. That's awesome. So what is our offer? So people do not buy products. They buy solutions to problems in their life. This is key. Like if you learn nothing else from me today, always remember that people do not buy products. They buy solutions to problems in their life. So the very, very simple example is that you do not buy a bed, you buy a better night's sleep. If you're sleeping well, there's pretty much no reason to buy a bed except for the fact that maybe, you're moving house or the bed is just 30, 40 years old. But if you're sleeping well, you don't go out and buy a bed. It's only when you're not sleeping well that you buy a bed. So people buy a bed in order to solve the problem that they're not sleeping very well, right? People don't want braces. People want a beautiful smile for their child at graduation. The one that marketing, in all marketing videos and that, they'll always talk about no one wants a drill. They want a hole in the wall so they can hang the photo frame so that their partner stops bugging them about how they haven't hung the photo frame like they said they would, okay? So, when I'm hanging photo frames in our house, I don't want the drill. I would just want it, like my wife to kind of stop nagging me, right? So what we need to remember is that your offer is showing people a solution to a problem, and your products are the vehicle to get there. Your products are not the hero in the story. Your products are the vehicle that you use to solve a problem. I hope that makes sense. And again, we can get so caught up in, man, my products are so amazing and our scientists are so cool and they're funny as well and we've won all these awards and we've got this and this and this. You know what? Tell me the problem they can solve. Tell the market the problem that you help solve. So the simple formula is your offer is that I help X without Y, or I help X to Y. So if you're in health and wellness, you do not sell protein shakes. You help people lose the belly fat without having to do 1,000 sit-ups. You do not sell, weight loss. You sell, I can help you lose weight without having to go to the gym. Okay? Or you can, if you're in travel, I help families to have amazing 5-star holidays. I help people have 5-star holidays without the 5-star credit card bill. Okay? If you're in skincare, I help people look 5 years younger without needing needles because I've got this beautiful anti-aging cream. Now, this can be business as well. I help network marketers to create financial freedom. That's what I want to do. That's what I love to do, is I help to show people how to turn their income into financial freedom. Now, I do that through Facebook Lives, through a book, through a podcast, through videos, through coaching, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I help network marketers leverage their income to create more financial freedom in their life. I help people turn their side hustle income into financial freedom, right? So this is the offer. So the very, very, very first step is to look at what you do, look at your products, okay? Is it an energy product? Okay, well, I help people have more energy without caffeine. Or I help people have more energy without needing harmful stimulants. And I want you to go through your product and understand what you actually help people do. What do you actually help them achieve? Okay, because people are not interested in buying products, but they love to buy solutions to problems in their life. So I talk about my story. When I started, I wanted to lose weight for our wedding. Now, I was busy. I was I was a health professional. So I was already pretty busy and I was already exercising and practicing what I preached and all that as a health professional, but it wouldn't go away. So it was someone helped me lose weight without kind of having to like give up my work and give up the sort of like meals that I had and the diet program that I had, because I was already so busy, I wasn't able to make wholesale changes to my life. So that is the offer. Step number one is to create your offer and understand that you help people solve a problem in their life. Now, the second thing then is that with our offer, we want to match it with a story. Now, our story is our before and after. We all know the power of an amazing before and after on our social media, a beautiful face, a weight loss, a six-pack, even just here I was unhappy at work and now I'm on the beach. Here we are, our whole family is out, enjoying this beautiful holiday. Before and afters of your life, okay? Now, your story is your before and after. So when you reach out to someone and you say, hey, Claudia, I can help you look 5 years younger for, without needing needles, or I can help you look 5 years younger for $5 a day. And she's like, well, that sounds interesting. I'm like, yeah, well, can I just quickly tell you what happened to me? I'll quickly tell you how I started, quickly tell you how I found this product, okay? Now, what we need here is we need, again, our before and then our struggle. This is actually the most important bit in two ways, okay? Then we need our guide, our friend, our vehicle. A friend showed me this program. A friend introduced me to this thing, okay? And then finally, we need our after. Now, this story template, and again, if you go to my PDF, I'm going to go through this in much more detail. There's videos where I go through it in much more detail. But let's talk about a few things here. Your story, your before and after, is incredibly impactful because, again, people don't buy products, they buy solutions. And people don't buy logically, they buy emotionally, okay? 99% of the purchases you will make emotionally, and then you will justify afterwards logically. So you'll sit there and like, oh, I love those shoes. And then you come home and you remember that you've got 27 pairs of shoes already and you justify, yeah, but I've got a big event coming up and I need these shoes, right? Now, again, as a health professional, as someone who worked with the human body, I have never met a single person, male or female, who bought shoes because they were good for their arch, okay? They bought shoes based on color, on sparkles, on everything else except that it actually helps me have good foot biomechanics, right? And again, so when we talk about our products with people, we can get into that trap of like, oh, let me tell you about the science. Let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about that. And people don't want that. People don't want the logic. They want the emotional story of, can you help me solve a problem in my life? Okay? Is this helping? Let me know if this is helping, guys. But this template, your before, your struggle, your guide, and your after, this is in every single movie you've ever watched, every single book you've ever read, every single story you've ever heard, okay? There's a girl and she can't get a date for the prom. She's struggling. She's so, she's upset. It's really hurting her. Someone comes along and says, oh my goodness, take your glasses off. And all of a sudden you're incredibly attractive and the most, popular guy at school is going to ask you to the prom, okay? We've all seen that movie. You know what? I'm struggling. My parents have died and I'm living with my aunt and uncle on a moisture farm. I want to join the resistance, but they're saying no. Then I meet this guy called Ben Kenobi and he tells me, actually, if I confront my father, I can save the universe. And I managed to save the universe with a few of my friends, okay? We've all seen that movie, right? The Ben Kenobi, the Yoda that comes in and guides them. Now you are the guide. Again, your product, your company, your system is not the hero. People want to be the hero in their own story. I want to be the hero in my story, okay? If I hear someone's story, I'll be like, wow, that's awesome. I want my own story. And we're just going to be the guide. So again, this template you use, you switch it up and use it however you need, right? So 10 years ago, I was struggling to lose weight for our wedding. And I was really, really stressed about it. And I was worried, and I've got this beautiful 14 out of 10 hot wife, and I didn't want to look stupid and useless up on my photos because I wasn't in the best condition that I should be. Friend came along, recommended some products. I was able to lose 6 kilograms, and 10 years later, I can still look at our photos and be proud. Okay? Now that is a story. Now I can change that to a financial story. 10 years ago, I was struggling. I was trying to create financial freedom. I wanted to be financially free at 33, but nothing I was doing was working. I had a good professional job, a small business. I was investing in property, but it just seemed like every single week we were going further backwards than forwards. Okay? Like what was going on? I was doing everything I was told to do. I had a university degree, everything. But then a friend introduced me to this program, this kind of like vehicle, this financial freedom vehicle, and helped Angie and I create more financial freedom in our life. And now we've been able to be full-time raising our family. And, we've created this incredible lifestyle and financial freedom. See how we do it, right? Very, very simple. Same structure, same template. And I just add in things back and forth. Okay. Now I could have a weight loss story. I could have a skin story. I could have a confidence story. I could have a travel story. I could have a financial story, all these sorts of things. Again, I've got way more training on this. I don't want to spend too much time here, but it's also incredibly important because it's the foundation of your business. The foundation of your business is your offer and your story. We have to get these right before we go any further. Otherwise, we go out into our network and we verbally vomit, and we can have some sort of some friendships broken, right? Now, I wanted a couple of points on your story before we move on. So, with your story, very, very important. What we need to do is our story will evolve. Now, right at the moment, your story is enough. So do not ever feel that your story isn't impressive enough. Whatever you've been able to achieve so far, there are millions of people in the world looking for that solution in their life. My story, I lost 5 kilo, okay? 10 pounds if you're listening in from the US, 5 kilo, almost a stone, depending where you're listening in. And people like this, all these other people are losing 50 kilo, 100 kilo. I lost 5. But my 5 kilo story was enough for the people who wanted to lose 5 kilo. People who wanted to lose 50, 100, I said, you know what, actually, I've got a friend, here's their story. They lost 50 kilo. I lost 5, they lost 50, but let me tell you their story. So your story is enough. What you're going to do is you're going to evolve your story, you're going to grow your story, and you're going to collect stories of other people that you've helped. So you know what? I lost 5 kilo. I did it for these reasons, but my wife, she did it for these reasons. Let me tell you her story. Or you know what? You sound exactly like this friend of mine, John. John had big weight loss goals. John and his wife needed to lose 100 kilos between them. This is their story. So don't ever feel that your story is not enough, but you will need to grow your story. You will need to evolve your story. Who here was in my Way Out group? If you're not in my Way Out group, you're very, very welcome to join. Just search it on Facebook. Again, follow the links through my website, all that kind of stuff. But who was here the other day and I was talking about personal development? And why is personal development so important? Because you have to develop your story. We talk about personal development as watching a video, listening to a podcast, reading a book, listening to an Audible, going to events. But personal development is intrinsic as well. My story has to evolve if my business is going to grow. So when I told my weight loss story before my wedding, that was great. And then I got married and we went away on a honeymoon and obviously, you put a bit of weight back on. Then I had to come up with a new story. So I started going to the gym more and got a performance story. And I was able to tell athletes my performance story. Then I said, you know what, I'm going to set myself a new challenge. I'm going to run a marathon. So then I was able to talk to runners because I was like, well, look, this is what I did. This was my marathon running story. So I had a weight loss story, I had a performance story, I had a running story. Then I went to the gym and started strength training. I had a strength story and I continually grew myself so I could continually grow my stories. If you're telling the same story to the same audience, it's like you own a cinema. So I use this example. Let me know if if you're on my Freedom Fridays, if you enjoy the Freedom Fridays, let me know because, if you're not, come into the group every Friday. I do a Freedom Friday training session, 10, 15 minutes of Facebook Live. And we're talking about this just the other day, right? It's like you own a cinema and you're playing the same movie to the same audience. And at some point, the audience is going to be like, man, I've seen this story, I'm bored. and they're going to like leave, right? So if you play the same story over and over again to the same audience, your business is going to stall. Okay, you either need to put new bums on seats in the cinema, or you need to show a different movie up on the screen. So develop your story. If you had an amazing transformation 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that's incredible. But people want to know, okay, well, then what happened? Like, tell me more. Then what happened? Like, tell me more. Like, okay, so you lost weight 10 kilos for your wedding, 10 years ago for your wedding. Then what happened? What have you done in the 9 years and 11 months since then, right? People want to know my next story. So now I'm 40 soon. It's like, well, hey, I'm 40 and I'm like still competing in gym and stuff like that. I'm still competing against 18 and 20-year-olds. I'm doing like an aging performance story now. You want to constantly grow yourself. So that's step number 1 with your story. Step number 2, if you are selling a financial story, make sure you can back it up, okay? Make sure you can actually deliver on what you promise. Now, definitely for a product point of view, but if you're selling a financial story, make sure you know what to do. Okay, so if you're going to say, hey, I can teach you financial freedom, and I join, you better show me what to do. Okay, and if I say, all right, show me financial freedom, and you're like, well, actually, I don't know, like I've just started, but here, like watch this video, I'm gone. If you haven't made any money yet, again, that is okay. Don't be ashamed of that. Your story is enough if you're just honest. You say, you know what, John, I've just started this program. I don't know much about it. I'm really excited and I'm working with some incredible people. I thought of you, and you know what? If you're interested, let me know because I would love to build this with you. That is more powerful than, John, I've just found a way to make $1 million. Do you want to join? Yep. How do I do it? I don't know. Like, okay, that story's not going to stick, right? You'll bring people in, but they will leave. So your financial story especially is enough. If you haven't got a financial story yet, create one. Create one by selling your product story. Sell the story of your products, of your system, and help enough people get results, help enough people solve a physical problem, their skin, their holidays, anything like that. Don't sell a financial story yet. Now, and I'm going to tell you this, and I tell you this purely just to be totally 100% honest with you guys as well. I have found, and I found this, and I remember my sponsor telling me, and I didn't believe it, but I found it 100%. If you're earning like $200 a week, if you tell your product story to enough people and you start earning $100, $200 a week, that is more powerful than $1 million story. And I can tell you that personally. I can tell you more people were interested in our $200 story than our $20,000 story. It's incredible because people can believe it. People can see themselves achieving it. People who don't have it like a financial mindset yet can see $100, $200. We built our business by, I lost 5 kilos for our wedding and I told a lot of people that story. That gave us a $200 story. I told a lot of people that $200 story and, my performance story, my gym story. The people who heard our $200 story, they were interested. That gave us a $2,000 story. We told people the $2,000 story, but more people were interested in our $200 story than our $2,000 story. And almost no one was interested in our $20,000 story because they didn't believe it. Now, a handful of people were, and they were rock stars. But if I walk into a room of 100 people and said, you know what, guys, for $1,000, I'll teach you how to make 8 figures, 1 or 2 people would put their hand up. Because to everyone else, it is so unbelievable. It is so overwhelming. It is so just ridiculous that this guy's going to teach me how to have 8 figures of income, worth, all that kind of stuff for $1,000. Not a chance. But if I walk into a room and say, hey guys, for $1,000, I can teach you how to make $200 a week, 95 people will put their hand up. So guys, do not feel that you need to fake a financial story because, fake is, we're kind of lying a little bit. It's a little white lie. And so if we're going to have integrity, if we're going to do this in a way that people agree and people want to join us and we lift this industry, our story is enough. If we tell our story with enthusiasm, integrity, and honesty, you will have success no matter what that story is. Your energy is the difference. Your energy is the thing that people are going to want to be a part of. So we have our offer and we have our story. Is this helping? Let me know if this is helping. This third thing we need to launch our business is we need our list, okay? Who do you know? Who do you know who's interested in losing weight without giving up carbs? Who do you know who's interested in looking 5 years younger without spending money on needles? Who do you know who wants 5-star holidays without the 5-star expense? Who do you know who'd like to make an extra income from home without having to take on an extra job? Who do you know? Write out your list and go through every person you've ever met and then get a highlighter of people who are often talking about that problem. Who do you know who's always complaining about their sleep? Who do you know who's always complaining about their income? Who do you know who's going to the gym and flogging themselves 24/7 at the gym and still like complaining about that little pouch on their belly, okay? Who do you know? Then we're going to go out and we're going to ask them if they'd like to have a look. And we invite them to have a look. We send an invitation to a destination where there's more information. So the invitation to the destination where there's more information is your team Facebook group, your company website, the videos that you use, a Zoom call, an opportunity meeting, a coffee date, a hotel meeting, whatever you do, whatever you prefer, whatever your team uses as like, this is the video that we send out to people, okay? This is the video that's going to help someone get results. This video explains our compensation plan. This video explains our products. And I'm going to send an invitation to the destination where there's more information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, Claudia, well, I can either directly or indirectly ask people to have a look. I should have said that just before. So directly, I can reach out to Claudia and I say, hey, Claudia, I know that we always talk about like having more money. I know that we always talk about traveling more. I've just started working with a group of people and they're teaching me how to create an extra income from my social media without actually having to start a new business. Would you be open to having a look? No worries if not, I just thought I'd ask. That is a direct ask. Claudia, I know this is something that probably interests you. Like, John, I know you and I are always at the gym, you and I are always exercising. I know you're looking to improve your performance. I've found a way to improve my performance without having to lift my training. I've found a way to lift 10 kilos heavier without having to go to the gym more often. I thought of you and I was just curious if you would be interested in having a look. Now, if they say, how does it work? Then I tell my story. I say, well, look, I don't really know how it works, but you know how I've for years been struggling with my running. I've been years struggling with my skin, years struggling with my finances. And it's been embarrassing me. And I'm like ashamed as a father, as a husband, that I'm like not really providing or I'm not really in the shape that I should be. And then these friends have introduced me to this program. I'm a month in and I've already had incredible results. And I thought of you and I wanted to tell you about it. The invitation to the destination where there's more information. Okay. So I'm going to invite John to have a look. I'm going to invite Claudia to have a look. Now, the other option is an indirect ask. Now, this is if you're a bit nervous, someone's on your chicken list, okay? That person, we can do an indirect ask. And an indirect ask is basically like a reverse psychology. So I'm going to say, Chris, I know this wouldn't interest you, but do you know of anyone who would be interested in losing weight without giving up carbs? Or do you know of anyone who'd be interested in getting a six-pack without having to eat like rabbit food? Okay. I know it doesn't interest you, Chris, but if you know of anyone else, can you let me know? I've just started using this program and I'm getting great results and I want to help some other people. So it's an indirect ask. It's reverse psychology. Now, Chris is either going to say, nah, or he's going to say, yeah, I do actually, my friend John, or he's going to say, oh, you know what? I would love to know myself. But if he says no, it's a gentle no. It's not like, oh, what scam are you in this time? It's just like, no, actually, no, it doesn't interest me. You're right. And, I don't know of anyone else. Okay. People don't mind if you have an agenda as long as it's not a hidden agenda. So if you just directly go out to someone and say, look, I know this probably wouldn't interest you, but I'm helping people create a business from their social media without having to kind of like launch an actual small business or a shop or an Etsy shop or an Amazon, helping people make money on their social media. I know it doesn't interest you, but just curious if you know of anyone else who would be interested. Okay. If they say no, it's a nice, gentle no. It may not interest them, but reverse psychology is incredible. It's amazing the reverse psychology that people will sit there and say, oh, actually, man, I would love to know that. I've wanted to know that my whole life. Can you tell me more? And I'll say, well, look, you know what? I'm going to invite you to a destination where there's more information. Here's what it did for me. Here is my story, or here's my friend's story, or here's my wife's story, or you sound exactly like a friend of mine. And that's why I thought I'd reach out to you. And we're going to do that. Now, that is how we grow our business. That is how we launch or we relaunch our business, okay? So for all those who've been doing this for over a year, everyone who threw up the 4, I think it was the 4 in the kind of comment section at the start, you've been doing this for more than a year, maybe a little bit stuck, maybe you need a relaunch, okay? Maybe it's time to just turn the page, and tomorrow morning I'm gonna relaunch. I'm gonna write an offer, I'm gonna come up with a compelling offer, an elevator pitch, and I'm gonna go out and ask and directly and indirectly ask people. Now there's a lot of moving parts in a business. There's a lot of moving parts helping people grow their business, okay? Working with people, leadership. And again, I'm going to talk about all this in a sec. 2 things you can control. You can control the quality of the story you tell and the quantity of the story you tell. They are pretty much the only 2 things you control. How many times you tell your story and how good your story is, how compelling your offer is, how compelling your story is. You can control those 2 things every day when you wake up in the morning. Focus on the things you can control and your business will grow. Now, they are the 3 steps to launch your business, to actively hustle. But what if you've run out of people to talk to? Does anyone feel like you've run out of people to talk to? You started your business, maybe you were a bit ignorance on fire, maybe you were a bit kind of overly excited. Let me know if you feel like you've run out of people to talk to, because after we told our story, we go out into our network and we market out into our network, and that's exciting, and we build our business, we launch our business, maybe even relaunch. But at some point, yes, Sigrun, you have, yep. At some point, you're going to run out of people to talk to. At some point, the network that you have, the 2,000 friends you have on Facebook, again, there's only so many bums on that cinema seat, right? So we need to get more people into the cinema, okay? So we need to have a strategy for that. Now, just before we do that, I want to spin the wheel again. I want to spin the wheel. I want a glass of water. The stories regarding products or the business. So the story can be whatever. I mean, I could tell you 7 stories. So I could tell you a weight loss story, a performance story, a income story, a investment story, a financial freedom story. I can tell you the $200 story. I can tell you our $2,000 story. Your story will grow, and your story is about whatever you want to help. And actually, very, very quickly, since the question is here, do you lead with the products or the business? If that's the sort of question, essentially, do you lead with the products or the business? I lead with the problem that people have. So if someone's sitting there and they're like, oh, I've got no energy. I go to the gym and I do all these weights, but I've never got, I've never seen any results. And then I don't say, hey, mate, do you want to know how to make $20,000 a week? I'd say well, you know what? Actually, you sound a lot like me, because 10 years ago, I was really struggling. I was going to the gym and I was doing all this stuff, but I just couldn't see results. And it was like I was just hitting this wall, and it was frustrating me because I could not get results. I could not grow. I could not get stronger, all that kind of stuff. Started using this program. Oh my goodness. It was like flicking a switch. It was like finding 5th gear. Now I'm 40 and I'm in the best shape of my life, and it's incredible. I would tell them that story, right? So do you lead with the products or the business? I lead with solving someone's problem. And if you're not sure what their problem is, you need to ask more questions. Tony Robbins says, if you ask better questions, you'll get better answers. So if you're not sure what story should I tell them, then you need to go back and listen more, work on your active listening. Okay. So let's spin the wheel. Let's spin the wheel because, why not? And Christina, I've just seen Christina now. She's sorted out her fighting kids. So Christina, you sound like you need to have a little prize drawn for you. So Christina, I'm going to spin this wheel. And you've won our VIP group. So that is 1 month's membership to our VIP training group. So shoot me an email, andrew@andrewlogan.net after this event, and I will add you into our VIP group, and you get a month of training in there with our VIPs. So worth getting the kids under control. I hope that was worth it. Now, I'm going to talk some social media branding strategy. I'm going to talk about actually, Claudia, is that a question? Write your questions up, guys. Write your questions up. I'll answer them as we go. But I'm going to talk about some social media strategy work. Okay, I'm going to talk about how to actually sort of build your brand. Now, again, I'm going to run through this very, very quickly because I've got tools for this. I've got videos to help you with that. I've done, we've got the higher level training with our elite guys, but I've got videos on YouTube. My most recent podcast went through this as well. So this is what I want to help you with. So very, very, very simply, A, B, and C, the A, B, and C's of building a brand, okay? Cold market marketing, going out and finding new people, A, B, and C's. A, who do you want to attract, okay? Who do you actually want to attract into your business? Who do you want to work with? I want to work with people who want to lose 5 kilograms for their wedding, shredding for the wedding, okay? That can be my ideal customer. That can be my avatar. I have this program that can help people lose 5 kilograms before their wedding. I want to attract people who are losing their shredding for the wedding, right? So my avatar, my ideal customer is someone who is wanting to lose weight for their wedding. Now, the biggest question here that we always get is, but if I'm only working with people who are losing weight for their wedding, I'm missing 99% of the people who aren't getting married. There's lots of people who want to lose weight, but not for their wedding. Now, it's a very, very good question, but it's a scarcity mindset question, okay? So what we want to do is we want to understand that if you stand for everything, you stand for nothing. If you try and please everyone, you please no one. And especially in a social media world, in a busy world, when we're going out into our cold markets and stuff like that, if people can't come to your social media and say, Andrew stands for financial education, Claudia stands for skincare, Sigrun stands for energy, Christina stands for travel. If they can't see that, you are just another face in the crowd. And you get caught in this sea of sameness. A friend of mine, Josh, calls it the sea of sameness. Are you caught in that sea of sameness where you're just another face in a very, very fat, busy middle crowd, okay? And there's a lot of people in social media just trying to like a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Clarity is the key. So who do I want to attract? Now, if I have clarity in my brand and it's like, I'm going to help people shredding for the wedding, and I put up photos and I put up results and I help people, I'm still going to have people come to me and say, hey, I see you helped John lose weight for his wedding. Would you be able to help me lose weight? I'm not getting married, but could you help me lose weight? Okay? It doesn't matter. They're just going to see that I stand for something, and they're still going to come to me and say, I know I'm not your ideal customer. They won't say it in those words. I know I'm not getting married, but can you help me this? I know you work, friend of mine absolutely crushes it. Really, really good friend of mine, helping night shift nurses with their sleep. Okay? That is her former profession. That is who she wants to attract. She wants to help night shift nurses improve their sleep. You know what? Everyone in the world wants to improve their sleep, right? But because she's got such clarity on that, people are coming to her, hey, look, I don't work night shift. I'm not a nurse, but I've still got crappy sleep. Can you help me? Okay. So again, check out my podcast, The Way Out podcast. 2 or 3 episodes ago, I go into much more detail on that. I talk about like weightlifting shoes and I give like a full example there. I do have a YouTube video version of this coming out as well. I've recorded it the other day. It'll be coming out in a few weeks. So just keep an eye out on my YouTube channel for that as well. But the reality is very, very simply, very quickly, if you go, oh, thank you. I can't see who said that because you just come up as a Facebook user, but thank you. I do appreciate that. So the very, very simple thing, if you don't have clarity in your brand, you're going to walk into a store and, my wife went shopping the other day. My wife went clothes shopping. If anyone who knows me, I hate clothes shopping. Thanks to my wife for the brand new shirt. It fits. This is amazing. But if she didn't know that, Andrew wants a black shirt, size medium, she would have walked into every single shop and just wandered around every single shop until she found something that maybe Andrew would like. But she knew. She said, Andrew needs a new shirt for this event, black shirt, size medium, and she walked straight into a shop, she bought it, and she came home. It's the same thing with your business. Helen, thank you, Helen. It's the same thing with your business. If you don't know who you want to attract, you're going to have 100 conversations and 1 or 2 people will be interested. And that is incredibly fatiguing way to build your business. If I've got to have 100 conversations just to find 2 people, I don't know if I can do that. And I'm full time. Imagine if I was trying to do that and build a business and raise children and do all these things, right? I want to talk to people who know what they want. I want to talk to people who are looking for me. I want to know who I want to attract. So I want to walk in and say, I need a black medium t-shirt. Thank you. I walk in, I walk out. I want to buy shoes. I want to walk in and say, I want size 12 men's weightlifting shoes. I don't want to walk into a store and try on every single pair of shoes that they have. I want to wear the pair that actually fit me. So straight away, I want weightlifting shoes. I want them in white and I want size 12. I got 3 pairs of shoes to try on at that point instead of 1,000. Okay. So who do you want to attract? B. Whoa, almost spelt that word. So how do I build my brand to attract that person? So if I'm selling weightlifting shoes, I want to attract people who want weightlifting shoes. My social media brand is going to be about weightlifting. So I'm going to post, here I am weightlifting. I'm going to post, here I'm at the gym. I'm going to post, here's me and my friend weightlifting. Here's me and my friend, and he was able to get a PB thanks to these crazy new shoes, and it fixed his form. You know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to brand my social media. So when I send a friend request or someone sees my post, they see my kind of comments, they see me in a group, and they come to me and they want to add me as a friend, they're going to see Andrew knows shoes. Andrew knows weightlifting shoes like no one else. I want to follow him. And what I'm doing is I'm creating content that will help have actual connection. So I'm creating content so that I can connect with people, convert them from strangers to friends, from followers to friends, so I can have conversations, and then I will earn commissions, okay? A lot of C's. And I do apologize, my handwriting is appalling, but I did come up through a medical school, right? I went to med school, so they actually teach you terrible handwriting. But I'm going to create content that people will connect with. I can convert them from strangers to friends. We can have conversations and I can earn commissions. So let's take that weightlifting shoe example. That's the one I use on the podcast. That's the one I use on this video I just recorded the other day. I bought these new weightlifting shoes. I want to brand myself. I'm talking about, weightlifting. I'm going to create content on my page. So I might create, 3 stretches that I use before I do weightlifting. 4 meals, my 4 go-to meals after I've done a workout. My favorite recovery stretch after a massive weightlifting session. 3 little tips that I've learned to help me lift heavier, okay? So that is content that is part of my brand that is attracting someone who wants to learn more about weightlifting, okay? I'm going to attract people through my brand and I'm going to create content. Now that could be pictures, that could be stories, that could be Facebook Lives, that could be Reels. I'm not a social media expert. Check out Fraser Brooks. He's a very good friend of mine. He's, great supporter. You all know him, I'm sure. He's the guy who's going to actually teach you, his content that converts seminar that he just had the other day. I'm not going to teach you that today, certainly, right? But I could do a Facebook Live on here's 3 meals that I love. I could do a reel on here's a quick, high protein meal that's my go-to after a heavy training session. I could do a little picture and, some here's 5 stretches. I could Facebook Live interview a strength lifting coach of how to get started in strength. If you want to weight lift but you've never done it before, here's how to get started. Now, people who want to do weightlifting are going to connect with that. They are going to comment. They're going to love heart it. They're going to be in my stories. They're going to be on my page. We're going to connect. And I can convert them to a friend so that then I can have conversations. Say, hey, hey, Christina, great connecting. You're into weightlifting. I don't know if it interests you, but I found these new incredible shoes. They've helped me lift 10 kilograms heavier without having to change my weightlifting routine. If you've got shoes that you love, no worries, but just curious, would you be open to having a look at these shoes that I have? Okay. Oh, thank you. Whoever said that. Andrew Fraser and Vincenzo, world's number one. I am not the world's number one. I cannot hold a candle to a few of those names there. But I'm going to create content. Now, here's the example, right? Let's say this isn't social media world, because sometimes we can be a bit crazy on social media world. Remember, whether it's the real world or social media, we're working with people. So let's say We're on the Sunshine Coast here. I live on the Sunshine Coast, Australia. There's a weightlifting club about 15 minutes down the road. I'm going to be like, yes, weightlifting club. That's where all my people are. And I'm going to walk into the weightlifting club. I'm going to say, hey guys, my name's Andrew. Great to meet you. And I've got some shoes for sale. Who wants to buy them? They're the best shoes ever. I've got this scientific research. I've got this doctor who says they're amazing. And I've got this athlete who swears by them. Who wants to buy them? They're $200 each. How long do you think I would last in that group? The owner of the group would kick me out, okay? And no one will follow you if all you do is immediately try and jump them with a sale, right? If you join a Facebook group for weightlifting and say, hey guys, I'm Andrew, great to be in this group. Who wants to buy these new shoes that I have? They're awesome, like look at this, blah, 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 right? But I'm gonna create content in that group. I'm gonna go into the group. I'm gonna go into the actual gym. I'm gonna go to this weightlifting club and introduce myself. Hey, I'm Andrew, nice to meet you. Let's connect like people do, like real humans in the real world. Let's connect. Let me get to know you better. Oh, how long have you been weightlifting? What do you love about it? Do you get sore after? I get sore afterwards as well. Here's the stretch that I do. I found this stretch really helps, okay? Like, oh, there you go. Okay, yep, that one. Yep, do that stretch and that will help, right? And we're going to connect and we're going to have conversations, okay? And then I'm going to convert them from a random person at the gym to someone who's a friend. I'm going to add them on my social media. We have conversations and then they might buy my shoes and I might get some commissions. Okay. That is how we do it, guys. And this is the real world. Don't forget, social media is still the real world and we're still working with humans. I hope that helps. Guys, if you are getting value, let me know. We're going to get into duplication and then we're going to get into leadership and actual kind of financial freedom, actually creating financial freedom. But these are the initial steps to launch your business, to go out into your warm network, and then go out into your cold network, okay? And create this endless supply of high quality leads. So I have my offer, my story, my list, and then I have my A, B, and C's, and I'm gonna create content that attracts people and they're gonna see my brand and they're gonna wanna be part of it. Now, that is all well and good, okay? At that point, I am making sales, which is an active income, okay? We love to talk about residual income, but at no point have I actually made any residual income at this point, right? All of these steps are incredibly important. They are stage one. Now, again, my blueprint, I go through the stages of financial freedom. Active hustle. If I don't have those conversations, I don't earn those commissions. If I don't create that content, people don't connect. I can't convert them from a follower to a friend. If I don't ask people to have a look at what I offer, I will not make any money. It is active income. It is no different to a job at this point. If you don't show up for your job, no one will follow you, right? Like if you don't show up for your job, like no one's going to pay you, I should say. Now, if you don't share your story, if you don't make offers, your company's not going to pay you. Our companies are incredible. I'm sure you all are absolutely in love with your company. There are incredible companies in this industry, but I tell you, absolutely none of them. I mean, I haven't been involved in all of them, but I'm going to guess pretty confidently that none of them are charities. None of them are paying you money just to sit and watch me, right? You're here to learn, but you got to go out and actually do some work. You got to go out. Now, that is active income. For every story I tell, for every person who signs up, I'm going to make $50. That's great. If I stop telling my story, I stop making $50, okay? Pure XY. If you show up for work and you work 40 hours, I'll give you $1,000. If you show up and you enroll 3 people, I'll give you $1,000, okay? Same mindset. What we want to start doing is we want to start to duplicate so that we have a business and we can start earning this beautiful word called leverage. Now, leverage is incredible. Leverage is the most incredible thing that we offer. And that comes through duplication, okay? Now, there is, again, a misunderstanding that duplication means all of you need to do Facebook Lives because I'm doing a Facebook Live now. If you want to be in my team, you have to do a Facebook Live. That is not duplication. Duplication is following a system. So duplication is saying, you know what, when you join the team, I want to help you get started. Here is a script to help you get started. Here is a template to help create your offer. Here is a template to help create your story. Here is a set of processes that we go through to post on social media. If someone joins, here is a PDF to show you what to do them. Add them to this group, tag them in this video, send them this message. Excuse me. That is duplication. So duplication does not mean you need to become someone else. And we should never, ever, ever sell that. Everything about you is perfect. Every single person watching this live or on the replay, everything about you is perfect. Do not change. That doesn't mean you can't grow. That doesn't mean you can't personally develop. But never, ever change who you are to fit a system, because that's not duplication. That's like bad, right? And that really, like if I said to you, you can only do this if you do it my way, that's not leadership. We're going to talk about leadership soon. But that's not leadership. That's a boss. And people come here to be away from their boss, right? People come here to be away from their boss. They come here to be surrounded by leaders. So if I'm leading you, I'm going to show you the tools, okay? So we're going to show people the systems so that they can duplicate. So the systems are, they need 4 systems. 1, how do I use the product or the system? Apologies for my handwriting. How do I use the product or the system? Okay, new customer comes in, they want to lose 5 kilograms before their wedding. Well, how do they use the product? Get them results, because if they don't get results, they're not going to stay, right? If they get results, they keep buying, okay? So what systems do you have? Videos, PDFs, websites, Facebook groups, okay? What system do you have that if I signed up with you tomorrow, you'd say, you know what, I want to look 5 years younger for $5 a day. Sounds interesting. I'm turning 40. I want to look 35. Tell me what to do. How does this product work? Okay. You need a little system in your business that helps me understand your product. Now, again, if you're selling, a financial thing, okay, like insurance or travel, how do I go on and book the flights? How do I go on and access my insurance? If you're selling a business opportunity, okay, how do I make my first $5? Like, how does the system actually work? Then we need a system to help them create their offer and story, okay? Now, again, if you don't have that yet, if you're struggling with that, just go here, download it, send it to them, okay? andrewlogan.net/blueprint, and you can have that whole blueprint, send it over to them. It will take them through it. So if you haven't done that yet, and if you don't want to create that yet, you don't need to. Just go here to the blueprint and they can do that for free, okay? Then, how do they create their list, okay? And last is, how do I get paid, okay? How does the company's compensation plan work? How do I get paid from the company? How does this work? So again, your company is probably going to have a video, a very short, again, a PDF, a website, you can have videos. These are things that people need to know, okay? And the last one that I should have put in is, when is the next event? Okay, because we've got to get people to events. If we're going to duplicate, if we're going to have business systems, okay, we want to get people in the room or on the Zoom, okay? And again, if they want to watch this video, you can share it out. Again, if you're watching in the group, flip over to the page. This is on live stream on the page as well. You can share it into your team group, okay? Get them learning. Leverage is that I tell this story once and 100 people see it, okay? That is leverage. I get on a Zoom and I've got 100 team members on the Zoom. That is leverage. That is the most incredible thing about network marketing. Social media changed the game because social media allowed us to have leverage, that we can show people a YouTube video on how to get paid. We can get people on a Zoom. We can tag them in a Facebook Live. We can do all these things and create incredible leverage. Now, when I had my small business, there was a lot of great things about the small business, but my leverage was limited. I could only fit about 4 or 5 other physios in the practice with me before we needed to buy a bigger building, okay? So my leverage was only about 4 or 5. I worked, my staff worked, okay? I got a percentage of whatever they brought in, okay? But the reality was my leverage was capped to about 4 or 5. In this, you can build a team of 50, 500, 5,000. And thanks to Facebook groups, thanks to Zoom, thanks to Facebook Lives, all those sorts of things, you can have incredible leverage. Now, the problem is this is where a lot of people get stuck. Now, leverage is incredible. Leverage is actually quite simple. I don't need to spend too much time here because leverage is just duplicating the process you went through. Okay, how do you find a customer? You share your story, you share your offer. How do you build a team? You teach people how to share their story, share their offer. What are the two things you can control? The quality and quantity of the story you tell. How do you teach people to build a business? Teach them to tell a good story to more people. Okay? That's really how you build a business. That's how you duplicate. Okay? Finer points, should you do weekly calls, monthly calls? I don't know. Find what works for you. Just try them. Try them both. Should you do Facebook Lives or Zooms? I don't know. Try them both. Should you have, a PDF or a website? I don't know. Try them both. I mean, you've got to test and measure from a business point of view yourself a little bit and really see what works. But if you teach them how to get paid, how to share their story, and how to get into the event, either have their bum on a seat or on the Zoom, you will create fantastic leverage in your business. Now, if you have 50 customers, 500, 5,000, you get more and more leverage. Your company does a promotion, your company comes out with a new product, more and more people in your Facebook group see the post, more and more people on your WhatsApp thread see the post, more and more people in your Facebook Live, your stories, your Telegram channel, etc. More people buy, you earn more commissions. That is incredible. However, and this is where people get stuck, leverage is not residual income. Leverage is not residual income. Leverage is not financial freedom. Leverage is an incredible step on the way to financial freedom. Leverage is one of the most incredible stepping stones on the way to financial freedom. But leverage is not freedom because at this point, everyone is following you. And this is really, really important. We're going to talk about leadership in a sec, right? Everyone is following you. Now, that means if you have a week off, so do they. That means if you don't post in the group, no one sees anything. If you don't run the Zoom call, no one jumps on it, okay? Leverage is incredible, and we can make good money very quickly thanks to leverage, okay? It's like the seesaw. Now we can move the seesaw over and we do one Zoom call and 100 people are on it. Leverage is incredible. But leverage isn't freedom, and a lot of people get stuck here because they have a team of followers who are dependent on you to teach them how to create their story. They are dependent on you to organize the next event. They are dependent on you to come up with the blitz. Dependent followers will make you money, but making money is not freedom. Does that make sense? And it's something like, it's just, again, there's so many things I love about this industry, but one of the challenges is that I think a lot of people think they have residual income, but they actually have leverage. And so what do? They go and have a holiday, right? They go off to the beach and they're laying on the beach and they come home after a week and their business is like dropped. And they're like, well, why didn't anyone do anything? And it's like, well, because you didn't tell us what to do. Because we're dependent followers at this point. What we need to do is move from leverage to residual. So when we move from leverage to residual, we have to go from having followers to having leaders. Now, if you would like more leaders in your business, let me know, because I'm going to show you that process, okay? I'm going to show you how to create leaders. So let me know. And actually, just before we do that, I'm going to spin the wheel. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to spin the wheel just before we do this. If you've got value out of this, if you shared it out, let me know. If you've let me know your big top light bulb moment. I'm going to choose someone who's popped this up in here. I'm going to choose one of the comments to spin the wheel for. What I'm going to do, three things. I'm going to spin the wheel. 2, then we're going to have a 2-minute break because I'm going to talk about leadership. Now, John Maxwell is an incredible leadership trainer. He's someone I've learned so much from. I spent a couple of days with him in Atlanta a few years ago, and he said, never, ever, ever talk to someone when they need to go to the bathroom because you're the second most important thing on their mind. Hey, Ursula. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick 2-minute toilet break, 2-minute cup of tea break. Okay, just run, grab a glass of water, grab a cup of tea. We'll do another wheel spin, and I'll do a quick Q&A straight after the break. And then we'll get into kind of leadership and financial freedom. So I'm going to choose Chris Baert. I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry, but Chris. Sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly. Baret. But you win a mentoring call. Chris, send me an email and I'll send you a link, and I'm going to do a 30-minute mentoring call with you. So I'm going to do a 30-minute one-on-one mentoring call with you, Chris. So thank you for your support. Thank you for being on live. To everyone else, don't worry, we've got some more draws. So I'm going to do one straight after the break. As I said, guys, I'm going to put some dancing cats up on the screen, and we're going to have a 2-minute break. Run and grab a drink of water. I'll do a quick few questions. So if you've got any questions, pop them up in the feed. I'll answer them. And then we're going to get into leadership, and then we're going to get into passive income and go from there. All right, here we are back. So I hope you had a glass of water. I hope you managed to grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever you needed to do. So yeah, guys, again, if you've got questions, just pop them up, and like as I go, I'll be able to feed them off. But just before we jump into the second half of the training, I would love to hear your biggest light bulb moment, the biggest kind of aha moment, that jigsaw puzzle piece that's just popped into place all of a sudden and it's starting to become a little bit clearer. I like to think about financial freedom like a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. It's like 1,000 pieces sometimes, and you can see the picture on the box, and then you kind of like turn the box over and there's all these different pieces. So I'd love to hear your top takeaways, any light bulb moments, and then we're going to talk about leadership and how do we find more leaders. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Richard. So yeah, book, podcast, videos. Glad you are getting value out of those, Richard. I really appreciate that feedback. Okay, so no one's got any feedback. That's awesome. But let's jump into leadership. Okay. Now, leadership is where we move from leveraged income, leading followers, okay, into leading leaders. The ABCs was the biggest takeaway. That's right. Yep. Small team becomes smaller, jobs open up. Yeah. Look, Christina, COVID's been a challenge. Obviously, I don't want to go down this pathway too far. Obviously, there's been a lot of challenges, but a lot of people just feeling a bit disenfranchised. There's a kind of lack of energy in the world at the moment. So hopefully we can get up here and really, really improve that. So leaders, yeah. So when we're leading followers, we have dependent followers. Now, again, that's fine. You can make money. Now, whether it's leverage or residual, I'll show you how to turn it into financial freedom. So that's one of my big things. Like when we talk about offers, I like to say I can teach you to have financial freedom without having to be the top income earner in your company. Because again, there is that misunderstanding, there is that misconception that only the very top make the top money and get the financial freedom. I can show you how to have financial freedom without having to be the top income earner in your company. So if you find this next 10, 15 minute section overwhelming, do not overwhelm yourself. Just say, you know what? Maybe that whole sort of residual income thing, it's a little bit overwhelming. It may not be 100% for me, but you know what? I can still create incredible financial freedom by just working on the next step. I get my leverage up. I just understand that I may not have a residual income, but I've got this incredible leveraged cash flow vehicle. And then I'm going to turn that into financial freedom. Bingo. People don't mind if you have an agenda as long as it's not a hidden one. That's it, right? Like, just, there's nothing ickier than, oh, I'm going to like be someone's friend for like 7 years so I can suddenly tell them about this product I've had. I mean, that's icky, right? Just, hey, Claudia, great to meet you. What do you do? Or this, what do you do? I help people have financial freedom through network marketing. If you're ever in network marketing, let me know. I'd love to help you. You know, like, just get out there. Guys, get it out there. It's easier. All right, leadership. Now, I would love to hear in the comments section, when you think of a leader, what do you think of? Like, what do you think of when you're like picturing this again? Who do I want to attract? Who do I want to attract into my business? I want to attract this incredible leader. What do you think of when you think of leadership? So what are some of the things that you think of when you're looking at, they lead by example. They know the way, go the way, show the way, right? They're in action. Okay, that's a great one. Leading by example is a massive one of leadership. Like you go first, right? Leadership. I know for like me, integrity is a massive thing in leadership. Like, that they have integrity. They do what they say they're going to do. They're determined. Commitment. Excellent. Oh, man, my spelling. I'm sorry. Determination. They have grit. They have resolve. They help people. They care about other people. And this is a massive one. They actually care enough about other people to do the work that they don't probably need to do themselves. Authentic. Yeah, massive one. Integrity, authenticity. Okay. So here's the light bulb moment. None of those have anything to do with business skills. Absolutely none of the things. And I have been teaching leadership for 5 or 6 years now. And absolutely never have I had someone say they understand the skills of network marketing when they talk about leadership. They have business skills, marketing skills. None of the things anyone ever mentions have anything to do with business skills and have everything to do with character traits. Who they are as a person is more important than what they do. They're approachable. There's another character trait, right? They have a personality. Like, they're actually someone you want to talk to, someone you want to hang around. They have a personality. They're approachable. So one of the biggest things that we see in leadership is people come up to me and they say, I've got this guy, right? And he owns like 7 gyms. Imagine if I got him in my business. And first of all, they use the word got him, which means like all they care about is themselves, which is okay, like let's just move that one away for the moment. But does that mean that he's actually someone who has integrity? Now, he's had business success, that's fine, but does he actually care enough about other people, or does he just care about his business empire? I don't know. But what I've found is that I would rather find people with integrity and teach them how to run a business than find people who have businesses and teach them integrity. And I just find that is so much easier. That is so much simpler. That's so much better. It's so much more authentic. I would rather find someone who cares than someone who owns 7 businesses. So I've got this great skincare product and the lady down the road owns 7 skincare clinics. Imagine if I got my product in her clinic, right? You know what? Give me the mum that is determined to change her children's life. She is determined, she's committed, and she cares about people, and I can teach her business. I can teach her how to create an offer. I can teach her how to share her story. So I think one of the biggest challenges that we have in leadership is that we look for the wrong things. And we look for people with business skills instead of people with character traits. And again, I love this industry, but sometimes we're our own worst enemies. What if we actually led the way by becoming great humans, and people looked at network marketers as some of the most highest integrity, the most authentic people, the most committed, the most determined, and the most caring people I've ever seen? Because who do you want to attract? Well, build your brand around caring. Build your brand around being determined. Build your brand around being committed. If any of you follow me on social media, you'll see like all my sort of, like personal social media is all about commitment. I'm committed to our marriage. I'm committed to my health. I'm committed to learning financial freedom and improving our financial freedom. And I never, ever, ever talk about shortcuts, loopholes, easy ways. I always talk about, you know what, guys, stay in the game, stay focused, have good habits, okay? Because I want to brand myself around someone who is determined and committed so that I attract determined, committed people. Then I can teach them a business model. That's easy. That's actually the easiest way. I have never found a way to teach someone who's good at business to care about other people, okay? And I'm talking, like traditional business. And that's not saying traditional business owners are all terrible. That's just saying like just because they own a business doesn't mean they're going to care enough to do what we do. They're not going to care enough to sit down with someone and mentor them. Okay? So first thing with leaders is remember leadership is a character trait. Leadership is actually a character trait over a skill. And if you want to attract those people, become that person. So that, a good person who wants to learn is better than an AWS who thinks they know it all. 100%, Christina. So, first thing, character traits. Understand leadership is about the person, and then we're going to teach them the skills. Okay? So that's the second bit. Now, systems, tools, duplication, whatever you want to call, okay? We are following templates, okay? Again, that following word. We are following templates, okay? Leaders, we need to teach skills. So again, we find character traits and we teach them skills. Now, what are the skills of network marketing? How to network and how to market. Pretty simple. How do you go out and meet people? Now, a tool would be, here's what you put on your Facebook, okay? A leadership skill development is, how do you want to build your brand? What do you want to do? All right, what platform are you going to use? All right, you're going to go Facebook Live. All right, I prefer to use Instagram Reels, but you do Facebook Lives. You do you. I'm going to teach you the fundamentals, okay? I'm actually going to teach you fundamental skills. I'm going to teach you the fundamental skills, and then you go and do it your way. Because you know what? You know what the best thing? Issue number 3 is that leaders don't follow. Issue number 3, leaders don't follow. I wish I had more leaders following me. Well, they're not a leader if they're following you. Followers follow, leaders lead, right? So leaders don't lead other leaders as such. Great leaders don't lead other leaders. Great leaders mentor and develop people to go and lead their own teams. And you work side by side, you work symbiotically, you work like complementary of each other. But great leaders don't have leaders following them. Great leaders mentor great leaders to go off and lead themselves. Okay? So again, sometimes we can get a little bit confused. And again, in this industry, we are fantastic at systems. We are fantastic at teaching people how to follow systems. But then also people are throwing their hands in the air and saying, why can't I find leaders? And it's like, well, because your culture is all about following. Now, following is important. I'm never, ever, ever going to say that systems, tools, and fellowship isn't important. But you need to identify the leaders and put them in a separate room. Okay? You need to understand that leaders won't follow. So if you look at your team like a funnel, okay, and funnels are all the rage, and funnels are very, very important. Okay, I'm not going to talk about them today as such, but funnels are a mindset. Okay, funnels are an understanding and a mindset. Again, there's software you can use, and again, we're not talking about that today. Attraction marketing funnels, etc. We've gone through the fundamentals of attraction marketing as far as the A, B, and C. But from a tool point of view, funnels are mindsets, right? So if you imagine, here's my team, here's everyone I know, like here's my network, and they're all going to come through this funnel. They're in my cinema and they're watching my movie. I've got 2,000 friends in my Facebook, and they all come into my cinema, and I'm trying to get them through the funnel. Now I'm going to have a percentage of people that don't care. I'm going to have a percentage of people that are interested but not yet. I've got a percentage of people who are interested but have an objection. And then I'm going to have a percentage of people that come through and sign up. Okay? That's a funnel. So if I got 2,000 friends on my Facebook, probably 1,500 of them don't care about financial freedom. I've met them through other places, school friends, gym friends, university friends, blah, blah. But they don't care enough about financial freedom to want to do what I do. Now, there's going to be some people who are interested in financial freedom, but they want to go through a different vehicle. They're like, look, I love you, but I'd rather go to like Robert Kiyosaki or Gary Vaynerchuk or Tony Robbins or something like that. You're a friend, whatever, okay? They're going to have some people who are like, look, yeah, I'll do what you do, but like, well, what if this and what if that, right? And then people are like, yep, I'm going to listen to your podcast, I'm going to watch your videos, I'm going to buy your book, etc. Right? That's a funnel. Now that's going to happen in your business. So you are going to have, again, you're going to have this big funnel where everyone who comes into your business, you are going to have a lot of customers, okay? Even if you're selling a business opportunity, you're going to have people who never actually do anything. They're going to be attracted to the business opportunity. They're going to want the business opportunity, but they're never actually going to open their mouth, okay? So they're either just consuming your products, using your products, accessing your products, or they're in your business opportunity, but they never actually do anything. Now, if you are brand new, okay, maybe your team's going to be a little bit skewed, but anyone who's got more than a couple of hundred people in their team, you've been going for a little bit longer, your company's more than 2 or 3 years old, this is how it's going to fall out, okay? Then you're going to have your kind of casual sharers. They might tell their mum, they might tell their brother, they might tell that one work friend, they might bring 2 or 3 people, okay? These people, we give them scripts, okay? You know what? Here's a template, here's a script to go out and just share your story, tell your mum what you've done, and you can get your $50, okay? Active income, if you do X, I'll give you Y dollars, okay? Then we're going to have our business builders. And we're going to teach them what I just taught you. Duplicate. You build a business by teaching sharers how to share their story more, okay? You build a business, people are like, how do I find business builders? And you say, well, how do you build a business? You find people to talk to, and you talk to the people you find. So teach people how to find people and teach people how to talk to people. So teach them how to share their offer, how to share their story, how to write their list, and then teach them some basics of social media marketing so that they can find more people, right? Then we're going to have our leaders. Now, the thing with leaders is we pull them out of the funnel. So we're like, how do we bring people through the funnel? With our leaders, we pull them out of the funnel and we put them in a completely separate room because they don't want to follow your scripts. They don't want to follow your systems. They don't want to do what they're told. They're like, look, Andrew, I love you. I respect you. You're great. You inspired me, but I'm going to do it my own way. Okay? Now, the analogy is it's like raising children. Who has children? Christina certainly has children. Right? And when you're raising children, there is an element of structure in what you do. There's an element of discipline in what you do. Now, I love words. It's interesting because I failed English at school, as you can tell by my handwriting. But now I'm writing books and I'm doing, podcasts and videos and stuff like that. Stan's got children. And I love really looking at words. And we look at the word discipline, and discipline is like, what comes after customers? Sharers. Okay. Customers, discipline. Discipline, we think of like how do you discipline your children? Do you yell at them or not, right? To discipline is to teach. Jesus had disciples. They were his teachers. He helped them teach. So discipline is how you teach a child, okay? It is not like the negative sort of thing that we think it is. So when you are raising a child, there's an amount of discipline as you're teaching them to follow certain, rules and culture that you have as a family, all that kind of stuff. But at some point, they're going to leave home. And at some point, they need to have their own beliefs, their own cultures, their own thoughts. They need to follow their own journeys. They need to follow their own kind of paths, My parents did this and went to university. My brother and I okay, well, we're going to go to university. And then I'm kind of 2 years into university. Why did I do this? Kind of just feel I did this because my parents, that was the expectation, right? And that's when I popped out. I finished university, but I didn't as soon as I was out, I was like, man, okay, find me a different path, right? Because I am that autonomous person. This is all about choice to me. So I actually got out of the funnel and I went my own way and I started to forge my own path. So you're going to have the same thing with your business. So you're going to have people who follow your systems and they're very happy to follow your systems. And then you're going to have people who want to leave home. Now, as a parent, I have not done my job if my children aren't able to leave home. That's a reality. If your children can't leave home, then what have I done as a parent? I haven't taught them enough independence. They were dependent first, and then we gradually gave them more independence to a point where they could go and live their own lives. If our children follow our life, that's fantastic. But if they don't, then that's fantastic as well. If they're successful in their own endeavors, that's amazing. I want them to do whatever they want to do. Now, so this is the mindset of a team. So you're going to have your customers. Okay, again, follow this video. Here's how you get great product results. You're going to have your sharers. Follow this script. Send this, write this template out, send that off to your mum. She might join. You might get $50. Okay? Business people, teach you to duplicate. I can teach you leverage. I can help you accelerate your income and create more time and extra income in your life. But just know that you've still kind of got a network marketing job at this point because it's still dependent on you. Leaders, I'm going to take them out and I'm going to mentor them to think for themselves. Now, the biggest challenge there is that it takes time. It takes patience. It takes patience to teach someone to stand on their own 2 feet. But that's what separates a good leader who leads followers from a great leader who creates other leaders. If you want to have a great income, you need to be able to mentor leaders to think for themselves. Okay? So that is a reality that separates a good business from a great business. A good leader from a great leader is that you teach them the fundamentals. You say, look, this is what I do. This is how I create content. This is how I network. This is how I market. But I want to teach you how to do it your own way. And I'm going to teach you how to think for yourself. Okay? And we teach them that autonomy. We teach them how to grow. We teach them how to actually have their own freedom in what they do. And that involves actually taking them out of your business funnel and putting them in a separate room. Okay? Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. I really hope it does. But leaders aren't systemizable. Okay? Leaders will not follow your systems. Leaders, if you've got someone in your team who's like, man, why do we do it this way? Why do we do it that way? And you're getting frustrated, that's the exact person who's going to give you financial freedom. The person who's not doing what they're told is the exact person you're looking for. But we can just get so caught up in this systems mindset that sometimes we lose some great people. And, sometimes we can get a little bit of a boss mentality going because we're trying to get everyone to follow the same system. You are going to have people who need to come out and do it a different way. It does take time. It does take patience. But that's also why it pays so well. So our mantra was always teach, 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 then I can lay on the beach. If I teach people how to think for themselves, if I teach people how to teach people, and if I can teach people how to teach people how to teach people, then I can go lay on the beach. But my job is not done until I teach. Then I don't actually have duplication, but I have reproduction. Okay, because duplication is a carbon copy. Reproduction is creating a new life that has its own thoughts. And I want duplication of systems and tools, and I want reproduction of leaders. Okay, so it's a matter of just understanding that your business will grow in different ways. Your business will have different people who come in with different goals, and we need to make sure that we're not too rigid, because you could be losing great people. So, leadership. What are the character traits that you're looking for? And remember, these are character traits, not business skills at the moment. Find people with those character traits. Become that person yourself first. What you're doing is like branding yourself so that you can attract people. Yeah, Chris, ego is a massive thing. Like, no, Chris, this is the way we've always done it. Like, no, okay, this is the way I did it, and I was able to reach a certain amount of success doing it this way, but I want to help you do it your own way, because at some point I want to leave too, right? If everyone's doing it my way, I'd never actually leave. I want to like do this and then go and spend more time with my family. So if you want money, teach systems. If you want freedom, teach leadership, okay? So, is everyone good with that? Does that make sense? So we're all understanding, we're all good here. Let me know if not. Let's do another spin, because I forgot to do a spin straight after the break. So let's do another spin, and I want to thank Richard T. Gilbert for your beautiful comment there before. So I want to reach you now. I will just say, some of you, because we're using StreamYard, you do need to actually give it permission to use your name. You'll see a little button to click. So some of you come up as Facebook user, and so I can't give you a prize, sorry, because I don't know your name. You're just coming up as Facebook user, sorry. So can I repeat that back? Sure. Oh, hey, Marie, what would you like me to repeat? What did you miss? Sorry, I'm going to spin this wheel for Richard. So Richard, you got the attraction marketing program too. So I think Claudio got that too, right? Let me know. Richard, send me an email, andrew@andrewlogan.net, and I will send you the attraction marketing program so that you can use that, go through it. It's about 6 videos, and it's going to teach you actually how to create content as well. So it's going to go through some marketing mindset, and then it's actually going to teach you how to create the content and some tools and websites you can use to create great content. So where is the button to click? So you should see, like, if you like, maybe you just got to sort of come out of the big screen if you're on full screen, and it will say, Andrew Logan is going live, how to create financial freedom through network marketing, or how to build your business and create financial freedom. And then there'll be a sentence that says, I am going live using StreamYard. To give StreamYard permission, click here. So it's just a third party thing, but it means we can, share PDFs and share videos, and it's just a much cleaner recording for all involved as well. So this will be recorded, guys, and I'll have it up on my YouTube channel in a couple of weeks as well. So you can share it. Again, you can share it off the Facebook page. You can share it. You can add people into the group. You can share it off the Facebook page, and I will have it up on YouTube in a couple of weeks as well. So yeah, you should see a button there. So some of you are giving beautiful comments and beautiful content, but I can't thank you because you're just coming up as a Facebook user. Anyway, let's talk about financial freedom. So we've made money, okay? Like Helen, there you are. Helen, you are here now. So we have made money. That is fantastic. That is the first half of the equation. The second half is, how do we get our money to make money? How do we invest? How do we actually create financial freedom? Or the sentence I said about teaching financial freedom, I think I said like teach so you can lay on the beach. Was that one? Teach people how to teach people how to teach people, and then you can go off and lay on the beach. I think that's what I said. I said a lot of things over the last kind of 2 hours. And I said a lot of things about financial freedom. What did I say about financial freedom? Well, look, financial freedom is choice. We're going to talk a lot about financial freedom, so I'll probably say the same thing again. Again, I'm sorry, I can't see your name because you're just coming up as Facebook user. I do apologize. Teach leaders how to teach leaders how to teach leaders. I would have said, if you teach followers, you'll make money. If you teach leaders, you'll have financial freedom. would have said something around those lines. Like, if you want to make money, teach followers how to follow systems. If you want to have financial freedom, you want to teach leaders how to think for themselves and lead themselves and, leave home, basically. I want them to leave home because that means they're successful and they're ready to leave home. Okay, so financial freedom, like the actual end game. Now, what we need to understand is that, again, sometimes in network marketing, we are our own worst enemy. Sometimes we are kind of our own worst enemy because we teach people how to make money. And then what we do is we teach people to buy new cars, upgrade their lifestyle, buy new handbags, have expensive holidays. And we actually put people in debt. And we actually teach them to have bigger credit card bills. And there's a lot of people, and I remember like 10 years ago when we first, started and we first doing all these things. People like, oh, I can't believe you're in one of those things. Can't believe you joined. You're smart. You've got a university education. I can't believe you're doing this. I lost all my money in one of those things. And I'm like, how? How did you lose all your money? Like, I could never make sense of it. I'm like, it costs like $500 to start. Like how did you lose everything? But what had happened was they had started making money. Deli, is that you? I can see that. You do come up as Facebook user, but if that's you, Deli, I can see you. So they'd made money, right? And then they went out and they upgraded the house, they upgraded the car, they upgraded all their expenses. And then their business might have, come back a little bit, or it just didn't, they'd budgeted on it. It was just going to keep growing, and it didn't. It came back a little bit and it stopped and it stalled, and they got themselves into financial trouble. Okay. And so because of that, they started struggling, and then they started getting desperate, and then they started doing bad things, and their business collapsed. And that's how they lost all their money. So what we need to do is we need to we want to celebrate. Of course, we want to celebrate. We want to improve our lifestyle, but we also want to teach people to have that bigger vision and say, you know what, if you're just here to upgrade the car, like, why don't we dream bigger? What is that dream car that you've got? Let's stay a bit more focused. Let's actually teach you how to make money, and then teach you how to get your money to make money. And then if I can teach you how to have your money making money, then I can teach you how to buy that dream car and have no worries at all. You can buy that dream car for cash, and you can just buy any single car you want. So it's about having a bigger vision. It's about saying, I'm here for more than just a little bit of extra money. I'm here to help you change your life. I want to show you how to change your life. Now, I need to help you make money first, because that's step one. Step two is, what do we do? So before I teach you the how, like anything, the how, more important than the how, is the why. So why do you want financial freedom? That is a question that you need to ask first. Now, why are you doing this, and why are you wanting to achieve financial freedom? Is it so that you can leave some money for the grandchildren? And if that's the case, there are better vehicles for you to use than others. Like the ability to, when we talk about investing, it's like in network marketing, there's network marketing, right? But then there's all these different companies. There's all these different compensation plans. There's all these different subsectors, right? It's the same with investing. There's property, there's stocks, there's commodities, there's Forex, there's crypto, there's futures. I'm not teaching you anything of that today, because that would literally take me about 20 straight weeks, okay? So I'm not going to teach you and again, I've got videos that can help you with that, but I'm not going to teach you individual investing techniques, because I'm not here to give financial advice to a big group of people over Facebook Live. I'm going to give you financial mindset and financial education. This is not financial advice, okay? Disclaimer. But the thing is, the question we need to ask is, why do you want to invest? So again, for me, I wanted to invest so I had more choice of where I lived. So the investment tools that I was using at the time weren't going to give me that. And I had to understand that, and I had to move into different investment vehicles. If you're investing so that you can leave your job, there's going to be different investment vehicles that are better for you. Again, if you're investing because you want to put some money away for the grandkids, then there's going to be other investment vehicles that are better for you. You're going to want to just, buy and hold forever kind of stuff. Buy some land and just sit on it and do nothing. Not financial advice, just an option, just an example. You buy it and sit on it and you give it to your grandkids for their 21st and they have this block of land that's worth like $2 million that you bought for $200,000, right? That's a long-term investment. If you're like me and you're 25 and you want it to be financially free at 33, you can't just buy and hold land, right? I wanted to be financially free in 8 years. I needed to do something different. So the first step is we need to understand why we are investing. And then we're going to go out and we're going to get educated. We're going to read the books. We're going to listen to some people. We're going to listen to the podcasts. We're going to find investors and say, okay, you used property. Okay, you used commodities. Okay, you used currencies. You used shares. Okay, tell me, help me understand so that then I can find the right vehicle for myself. But the first thing is to understand, why do I actually want to put my money to work? And if we know that, it's much easier to find the right vehicle. Otherwise, you're going to bounce around 7 or 8 different vehicles before you find one. And by that time, you've probably spent 10 years and $50,000 or something just to find the right vehicle. I'll give you one of the best tips ever. Spend $5 in late fees at your library than $50,000 investing in the wrong thing. Okay. Sometimes the best investment you make is the one you don't make. And I would rather get a $5 late fee because I've read this book 3 or 4 times than throw $50,000 at an investment that isn't what I want. Okay. And, I've been investing heavily for 15 years now. They haven't all been home runs, trust me. And I probably could have solved that problem if I just read a book or 2 before I got started. But I was young, I was a male, I had an ego, all those sorts of things. And I dived into some things that I shouldn't have done. So what are your actual investment goals? What vehicle are you going to choose? Now, you need to do that. I cannot give you that kind of advice in this kind of scenario, right? But you need to go and find people who are investing. Again, I talked earlier when we talk about branding and commitment. There is no shortcut to success, but the closest thing to a shortcut is like an inside lane. The Olympics are on, right? You want to get that inside lane? Find someone who's done what you've done and ask them how they did it. What do you want to do? Find someone who's done it, ask them how they did it. That's the biggest inside lane to success. Find someone who already does it and then actually just ask them what they did, okay? So that's your biggest shortcut to success, is understand actually, what does freedom mean to you? Now, if any of you have ever done, I know some of you have never heard me speak before, others of you have. If any of you have gone through my coaching call program, on my coaching call program, you get sent some videos. So guys, if you haven't yet, you just andrewlogan.net/call and you can book a 15-minute coaching call. Now, it's not with me, but it's with my coaching team, and they're going to take you through a step-by-step process, and they're going to send you a video to watch. And the very first step is actually, what is actual freedom to you? What do you want? It's so important that we know the destination before we start. You have to know the destination before you start. Otherwise, you're just going to drive around in circles forever. Okay? So the first step is, why am I investing? Where do I want to be? What is that? They're the first few questions we need to ask. Then we can talk about the how. Okay? Now, again, final disclaimer, this is not financial advice. Okay? This is financial education. You need to know your why and you need to find your how. Okay, your what, sorry, and I'll teach you the how. So, in the world, we have 2 things. We have assets and liabilities. Okay. Now, in the most simple terms humanly possible, an asset puts money in your pocket every single week or every single month. Okay. A liability takes money out of your pocket. So if you go to the bank and you're going to get a home loan, and the bank's going to sit down and say, tell us all your assets. And you're like, well, and I remember getting my first home loan at 23 when I bought my first investment property. And, I've got a car and I've got some, furniture and I've got some clothes and my mobile phone. didn't own much, right? It's I've got a ping pong table, a table tennis table. Now, none of those were assets, right? The bank was essentially saying, what of yours can we just take and sell if you run out of money? If you can't pay your bills, we're going to take your car and sell it. Because my car doesn't put money in my pocket. My car takes money out of my pocket. Every week, I've got to put expensive fuel in it. Every year, I've got to register it. Every year, I've got to insure it. Every 6 months or so, I've got to get it repaired, right? My car is not an asset because it takes money out of my pocket every single week. Now, if you drive Uber or something, yes, and you're generating an income from your car, potentially. If you're making more out of your Uber than it's costing you to have your car, then yes, your car is an asset. This home is not an asset. This is our dream home. This is a beautiful home. We're incredibly blessed. We're just so blessed. Our view, if anyone's a friend of mine on social media, you know we've got the most incredible, beautiful view, and I get to go out there and do my morning workouts and look at the view and watch the sunrise. But this thing isn't an asset, right? This house does not give us any money. It takes money out of our pocket every single week in insurance, in like loans, in repairs, and all that kind of upkeep fees, right? They are all liabilities. And sometimes we can get confused with what's an asset and what's a liability. And people are buying things that are actually liabilities. And people are saying, here's a great investment, and they're selling you a liability. So quick tip, not financial advice, but a quick tip. Always be very conscious of someone who's desperate to sell you an investment. Because if an investment is making me money, I'm never going to sell it. If something's giving me $100 a week, why would I ever sell it? Why wouldn't I just keep it forever and get $100 a week for the rest of my life? Because then I'd go out and buy 50 of them. Like if I found something that gave me $100 a week every week, I'll go out and buy 50 of them. That's my financial, that's like my Andrew's secret to financial investing. Find things that give you money every week and then buy as many of them as you can afford. Like not advice, not a recommendation, but just a general tip. If someone's like, oh man, you should buy this investment. I've got the most incredible investment. Give me money, I'll invest it for you. Why are they so desperate to take my money? I don't know. Does anyone else get the emails? Like, if you just give us $10,000, we'll give you like this much money back. And I write back to them, well, like go and get a personal loan for $10,000 instead of asking me for $10,000. Like if you're going to get $100,000 back, just go and get a personal loan for 10 grand, right? Why do you need my 10 grand? Anyway, tangent. But very, very simply, financial education 101. An asset puts money in your pocket every week. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Now, assets create cash flow. Cash is king, cash is not king. Cash flow is king, queen, children, empire, prince, princess, everything. Cash flow is everything. Cash flow is consistent income into your life every week. And do you know what is the most incredible cash flow producing vehicle in the world? Your network marketing business. There is no greater way to create cash flow into your life than network marketing. Again, Freedom Friday. So if you're not in my group, feel free to join the Way Out community. And if you search in the search bar, #Freedom Friday. A couple of weeks ago, I did a Freedom Friday and I said, you guys don't have a network marketing business. You actually have something even better. So you don't have a network marketing business. You have a network marketing cash flow producing vehicle. You have a network marketing leveraged cash flow producing vehicle. And again, whether it's leveraged or residual, you can create an incredible cash flow for like $500. You join your company for like $500 and you get like the ability to create cash flow, not a guarantee, but you get the ability to create cash flow immediately. One of my favorite sayings, I love sayings. One of my favorite sayings is that cash money is like manure, okay? If you just pile manure in a pile and don't do anything with it, you've just got a big pile of poo, okay? If you spread it around, everything will grow. Your gardens will grow, your lawns will grow, the environment will grow, the ecosystem will grow, okay? If you spread this thing around. Cash flow is getting money moving around. Cash sitting in a pile doing nothing is a liability. Cash sitting in a pile doing nothing is an absolute liability because you are losing money every single week by just letting it sit there. So assets, financial education 101, assets and liability, you created by starting and joining your business and enrolling your first person, you created a cash flow producing asset. You built a cash flow producing asset, and you should all give yourselves a love heart for that because you are on the pathway to financial freedom with cash flow producing asset. That is the most incredible thing in the world, and we don't sell that enough. We don't teach that enough. That's why I do what I do now. That's why I'm passionate. I mean, I love everything about network marketing or company. My passion is to help people understand what we truly have. What we truly have is a cash flow producing asset, and it's absolutely incredible and it's absolutely ridiculous. And I cannot believe that we don't sell it enough. We sell the financial freedom, and the financial freedom is really, really exciting, of course. But to so many people, they're not going to get there and they get frustrated and they quit. And that is a terrible, terrible thing. Okay. Time for a stock event. Yeah, let's not go down that path. All right, final step. Okay, final step. So understand cash flow. Okay, understand that yes, if you buy a house for $1 million and you sell it for $2 million, that is capital gains. That is making money. Or you buy a house for $1 million and it gives you $1,000 a week rent. Okay, that is cash flow. Okay, just understand those couple of terms. So I should have written that up before. Let's just zoom back. Okay, cap gains, capital gains. I bought Apple for 100. I sold them for 1,000. I made a $900 capital gains. Okay, cash flow. I bought Apple for $100 and it gives me $10 a quarter dividend. That is cash flow. Now, again, if I've got Apple shares and I bought them for $100, they're worth $1,000, that's great. But I only get that $900 capital gain when I sell. I can only get my money out by selling. If I have Apple shares giving me $10 a quarter, I have cash flow. So what I do, I just find a way to buy more. Well, if I buy 10, I'll get $100 a quarter. If I buy 1,000, I'll get $10,000 a quarter. Okay? And cash flow, I can live off. And if I can live off it, I never have to sell it. If I've got Apple shares that I bought for whatever price and they give me money every quarter, why would I ever sell them? Yes, I could sell them, but then I've got a big pile of cash, and a big pile of cash can look a lot like a big pile of poo at times, okay? Because it's not doing anything. If I buy a house and I get $1,000 a week rent, and then, that cash flow, I can use to pay the bills. I can use to take my wife out for lunch. I can use to buy the kids, breakfast tomorrow, like after this. All right, it's 8 a.m. in the morning here in Australia, and certainly for me in Brisbane. So we're gonna have breakfast soon, right? Anyway, final step. So we're just over the 2-hour mark. I do apologize. I said it would be 90 minutes to 2 hours. I appreciate all of you. Everyone has stayed on. Like, this has just been incredible. I really, really appreciate you. I'll be done in about 10 minutes. So thank you for just going on that little bit longer. I do really, really appreciate that. I do, authenticity, be on time, finish on time. I do apologize, we're going to touch over. Okay, Helen is still here. Yes. All right, so let's create freedom. And when I talk about freedom, I do not talk about creating money. I've taught you how to make money. I want to talk you how to create wealth, because wealth is the ability to have choice. Wealth is the ability to fully experience life. Henry David Thoreau. I love quotes. Henry David Thoreau. It's the quote that opens part 2 of my book. Part 1 is how to make money. Part 2 is how to get your money to make money. Part 2, the opening sentence, is wealth is the ability to fully appreciate life. Wealth gives us choice. Wealth allows us to do all those things that we've talked about doing in the other, in the videos before. Okay. So how do you create wealth? Okay. So let's come back to that very first slide. Okay, I am here, and before, so this is me 10 years ago. I had my job. Hang on, I'm going to write this bigger. Sorry, let's write this bigger so it's easier to see. Okay, so we are here. Now, for me, this was 10 years ago, and I had a job. Why do people like jobs? Because they're cash flow producing. Imagine if you went into your job and they said, look here, work here for a year, and at the end of the year, we'll give you $100,000. But they don't. They give you $2,000 a week, right? Cash flow. Why do people choose jobs when they know that, at the end of the day, they're not happy, they don't love it, but they go in every week because it gives cash flow into their life. If you had to go and work for a year before you got paid, no one would have jobs, right? Because there's no cash flow to them. People will show up on Monday, they leave Friday, and they get paid, Saturday, kind of stuff, right? Cash flow. Anyway, here was me. Here was freedom, okay? And freedom isn't free. freedom actually has a cost. Now, the cost of freedom is how much does it cost you to live the life of your dreams? Now, I talked right at the start. I said, imagine if, and I always use this example because it's literally happening straight across the road. Like I'm upstairs in this little office set up here, and our windows look out to this house across the road. Now, this house across the road, we live like in this beautiful little village, but it is that classic house that, in all villages, it's like location. It's right next to the village, but it's just been neglected, right? And the grass is quite long, and there's a couple of old cars in the driveway that are just a bit, sort of clapped out, and everything's sort of falling apart a little bit. It's a beautiful home. Unfortunately, it's just been a bit neglected, right? But recently they decided to sell because the market here is really, really good. The market in this village is very, very good and strong. They decided to sell. Now, what they were doing while they had the thing on the market was that they bought a van, and they're obviously a very, pragmatic couple, and they're out there, and I'd see them every morning when I'm running the dog, and we'd have a quick chat. They're out there decking out the van to then just drive around Australia. So the guy's obviously, quite skilled with cabinetry. He's got a drill. He didn't want the drill. He wanted the hole in the wall, right? He wanted the hole in the cabinetry. So anyway, Team Sanu from Bangladesh, you are welcome. So he wanted this thing, right? Like, so he's building this thing, and they're decking out the thing so that they can just travel around Australia. Now, for them, that was freedom. They're building this van so that they can just drive around and see the country. That freedom cost maybe $100,000 because they had to buy the van, they had to buy all the cabinetry, they had to buy the timber, they had to buy the tools, they're going to have to put fuel in the car, they're still going to have to eat, they need some kind of cash flow to pay for the food that they eat each day, all right? But for them, freedom probably cost about $100,000. $100,000 was the ability to have more choice and just drive around. They had to deck out the van and do this sort of thing. Comrade, thank you. So that's what freedom cost them, right? So freedom has a cost. So the ability to have freedom is to have assets, cash flow producing assets that pay your cost of living. Now, we happen to have this incredible cash flow producing asset called a network marketing business. Now, we build our network marketing business so that we increase our cash flow. Now, at that point, we have two choices. So let's say freedom here is $1,000 a week. Okay, freedom costs $1,000 a week. You're making $1,000 a week. Freedom costs $1,000 a week. So you need your network marketing business to make you $1,000 a week. So the first goal is like, my network marketing business is matching my job so I can leave my job and go into full-time network marketing, and then I have freedom. Now that is a good goal. I want to show you a great goal. The enemy of a great life is a good life. A good life would be to have your network marketing cash flow equal or slightly above your job, okay? Because again, sometimes we can have quiet weeks in our business. Sometimes we can have good weeks, okay? There's residual income, there's leverage income, there's active income, there's a few moving pieces. We want to have at least above our job, right? But what if you had a bigger dream? What if you had a bigger vision? What if you stayed in the game a little bit longer and you said, you know what? I'm going to build an asset, and I'm going to use the money from building an asset to buy more assets. And then if I buy more assets, and let's say I buy some assets that give me $50 a week, now I've got $1,000 a week and $50 a week. And I can use that money to reinvest in my business, to reinvest in myself, to personally develop. And I can use that money to buy more assets. So now I've used that $1,000 a week to buy something that gives me $50 a week. And now I've got $1,050 a week. And now I'm using that $1,050 a week to buy more assets. Now I've got $1,100 a week coming in. And I'm using that $1,100 a week to build my business, to grow myself and buy more assets. And I'm building assets so I can buy assets. And if you do that, you get to a point where your money is buying you more money. And that is what I like to call a wealth loop. So you have money buying you money. You have a cash flow producing vehicle that's allowing you to buy cash flow producing assets, and then your cash flow producing assets are buying you more cash flow producing assets. And if you have your money making money, it's a pretty good situation to be in. Okay. And the problem is that sometimes we leave our job too soon. Sometimes we're like, you know what, I've made $1,000 a year. I'm out. And I totally understand that some people have bad job setups. I totally understand that some people just do not enjoy their job. And I totally understand toxic working environments 1,000%. But what if you left that job and just went and got a part-time job? You have choice now. You have freedom of choice that you can go and just get a part-time job, and you keep your cost of living to $1,000. You don't upgrade the car yet. You don't upgrade the kind of handbag yet. You don't have that massive holiday yet. Yep, go out for dinner, celebrate. Yep, 100%. Enjoy those things. Yep, multiple streams of income. Yep. Like, what if you then said, you know what? Because while you've got a job and a network marketing business, you have 2 streams of income. So Comrade Hamim said it there, right? Like, 2 streams of income is always better than 1. So I've got 2 streams of income. I pay my cost of living here, and I create a wealth loop here. And at some point, that wealth loop is going to take over. At some point, that wealth loop is going to get to a point where your money is making you so much money that you cannot stop making money. And I remember one of my very, very first events, and I remember speaking to this lady, and she was a very, very successful person. It was a financial event, and she said, Andrew, I cannot stop making $1 million a year. Understand that. Get that in your DNA. Understand what it would be like to not be able to stop making $1 million a year. She was teaching investment strategies, right? I learned a lot from her. And it was imagine that. So that was my goal. My goal wasn't to be financially free at 33. That wasn't imagine if I could just leave my job. My goal was imagine if my money's making me $1 million a year and I can't turn it off. Imagine what would that be like if I couldn't turn it off. Wouldn't that be incredible? But if we leave our job too soon, we cripple that. We sort of kick ourselves in the shin a little bit, and we stop the ability to create this wealth loop. Now, again, yes, you get to have a good life. You get to have a good life because you get to do your network marketing business full time. You get to spend more time with your friends and family. Totally 100%. I'm never ever going to say that's a bad goal, but I'm just saying, what if you dreamed a little bit bigger? What if you said, you know what? I want a great life. I've got a good life here. I want to go and have a great life. And I want to help all these other people totally change their life. And I want to leave a legacy for my family. That's what gets me out of bed each morning. It's not we've got a beautiful life. We've been able to tick every single box we ever imagined. I wanted to lose 5 kilos. Here I am 10 years later, right? It's just incredible. But I get up every morning because I want to teach people how to create legacies and teach people how to completely change their life and turn this good thing that they have into a great thing. Okay. Now, questions, anything like that. I'm going to spin the wheel one last time. Now, Sigrun Kruger, I do hope I've pronounced that correctly. Yeah, The Journey to Good to Great. That's a great book. So Jim Collins, I think it was, who wrote it, someone Collins. Good to great. Again, it's let's show people how to have a great life. Now, Sigrun, I do hope I've pronounced that correctly. You've been super, super, super positive and supportive. So you are going to get VIP group as well. So you get to be in our VIP group for a month. So actually Tuesday, join the group and you'll see all the stuff in there. We've got our live Q&A session kicks off this Tuesday. And then I do weekly trainings, higher level trainings in there. So Helen, a couple of questions. Your book is on Audible. My book is not on Audible. I do have an audio version, which you can purchase, but it's not on Audible, unfortunately, just because as an Australian, Amazon is just crippling. Amazon fees as an Australian. And I do understand that is a bit of a challenge. But I do have ebook audio versions of my book. So if you like physical copies, I don't have these up on the screen, but if you like physical copies, go to andrewlogan.net/book and you can get the physical copy. If you like audio, if you want the audio version, there's an option to upgrade there. Or if you just want the audio version, go to andrewlogan.net/start. And Start has the audio version, pure audio version there, and then you can upgrade to the book. So yeah, listen, I'm a huge Audible person. I love Audible, but just unfortunately, from our point of view in Australia, it's just too challenging to kind of do things through Amazon. Chris, my email is andrew@andrewlogan.net. You can see the website just up there on the screen, or if you just go to that website, you'll be able to, or just send me a message on Facebook, however, and just let me know, and I will get your spinny wheel prize over to you. So, guys, call to action. Here we are. Now, you have just spent 2 and a bit hours listening to me. Thank you, Adele. Thank you for all your support always. Now you need to go and put this into action, right? So as I said, I don't know if I've still got it up on the screen, but as I said, you've got this blueprint. I just finished this the other day, right? I'm really, really excited about it. So here it is, right? So we've got our active hustle. We're going to turn that into leverage. We're going to create residual income, and then we're going to turn that into passive income. And I go through all the steps on how to do that, okay? Like we go through it. It's all there. It's all really nice and clean, and take you through that. So if you go to andrewlogan.net/blueprint, you'll be able to download that free copy. Okay, I'll send it out to your email, and you can have that. You can have that as a tool for your team, as a roadmap for yourself. And it's got the links to the videos, so you can show people these sorts of things. This video will be in the group forever. It will be on my Facebook page forever. I'll do a proper clean version. I'm streaming onto YouTube Live as well, but I'll do a proper clean version from YouTube, so you can always access this from YouTube as well. Once it's all cleaned up and put up on the channel, I will send you all a link for that, so you get that as well. Now, one last thing. If you are after some higher level coaching, if you do want some higher level support, you do want to work with me a bit more, I do have a financial freedom program I've just launched. I do have an elite mastermind, but if you want that, directly email me about that. I've got a brand new program to help people really get involved and start getting all the kind of tools and structure and video programs and everything they need to help them get set up. So andrewlogan.net/freedom. And what you're going to get is you're going to get all my video programs, everything I've ever created. So how to start your business, like my 4-day fast start program, my 4-day financial mindset program. You're going to get my attraction marketing program. You're going to get my business systems program, my leadership masterclass, my investing 101, my advanced financial mindset, my lessons with legends, like my investor series, like just every video program I've got, recordings of events, everything. You're going to get access to all of that. You're also going to get 12 months VIP membership. So you're going to get 12 months VIP group membership. So where I do weekly in-depth trainings, we do monthly Q&As, we do quarterly boot camps, 2-hour-long boot camps like this. You're going to get all that training as well. You get 12 months access to that group. Plus, the great thing is that everything that I do is always recorded. So everything is kept in that group. So you can join the group, and you can also get the last 12 months of education as well. So I've done 12 months worth of training already in that group. So you can just go through, and there's 12 months worth of training already. So you'll essentially get 2 years worth of training. And the last thing as well, as a bonus for this, is that you'll get a 60-minute one-on-one Zoom call with me. Okay, directly with me. I'll give you a 60-minute one-on-one Zoom call training. So you get all my video programs, you get the VIP group, and you get a 60-minute Zoom training with me. Now, as a bonus, because you've stayed here, because you've supported, because you've been awesome, if you put freedom50 into the coupon code, so if you go to andrewlogan.net/freedom and you put freedom50, you will get it for $1,000 off. Now, there is the option to pay in installments as well. So if you pay in installments, you'll get $500 off each installment. So you're going to get every program I've got, you're going to get 1,200. You're going to get 12 months worth of VIP training, and you're going to get the one-on-one Zoom with me. And if you put freedom50 into the thing, you will get $1,000 off, because we've just launched and you've done this amazing webinar. You've stuck with me. You've all been absolutely incredible. As I said, it's been such an honor to be here. Right from the start, everyone has just stayed on the whole way. They've stayed on and engaged. You've got help. So if you've shared this out, if you've commented, if you've love-hearted, anything like that, I really, 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 really appreciate you. I hope you've got incredible value. I hope you have this clearer picture in your head. As I said, that blueprint will help. You can follow me on my podcast. You can follow me on my YouTube channel, and you can join our group as well. If you're watching this through the YouTube stream or you're watching this from my page and you're not in my group yet, just go to Facebook and search The Way Out Community. Again, all those links are on my website. They're on that blueprint and you can go from there. So guys, it's 8:22 in the morning. I'm going to head off. I'll probably have a little nap at some time because I got up at 4 a.m. To do this. Australia is a beautiful country, but our time zones are a little bit ugly. So I had to get up at 4 a.m. to run the dog so that the dog would be kind of settled and then we could get everything ready for the training today. I appreciate all of you. Keep an eye out. I'm going to be doing more lives. I'm going to be doing more trainings, more interviews, everything. And guys, if anything I can do to help you, just let me know. Those guys who won spinny wheel prizes, make sure you email me, let me know, and I will send those out to you. Teams, it's 4 a.m. for you. Well, I greatly appreciate that. If you're watching at 4 a.m., that's incredible commitment. So guys, and as I said, if you do want that higher level training, go along to andrewlogan.net freedom and you will get $1,000 off that program. So pop my email for the winners. Sure. It's andrew@andrewlogan.net. There you go. Pop that up there. So yeah, if you did win a prize, send me, hey Sal, send me an email and I'll get those prizes out to you. Otherwise, guys, I'm going to jump off. Have an incredible week. And we'll see you either for a Freedom Friday in the group, or we'll see you, like I'll be doing an interview on my page, or we'll see you somewhere. See you for a Zoom, see you for a mentoring call, something like that. Catch you all.